Hello and welcome to some r/ProRevenge. Today's post comes from Aggressive Goober and is titled, Share My Nudes, I'll Take Everything. I'm sorry this is so long. So I, female 26, have been married to my male 32 husband for 3 months now. We dated for 3 years prior and everything was great. We bought and settled into a house and I was ready to live the rest of my life in blissful peace. Until I got a "Hey girl" text. This girl messaged me saying my husband and her went on a few dates, and when they decided it wasn't going to work, she asked him to delete all of her sensitive pictures. Apparently he laughed and said, "That's not how that works," before blocking her. She was frantic. Apparently he asked her for some really provocative and niche pictures, and they had her face in them. She found his real profile since the old one was under a fake name and saw that he was married. They last saw each other 2 months ago. At first, I thought this was just some stupid, bitter ex trying to ruin a newlywed's marriage, so she sent proof. I'm taking screenshots, pictures, and the nail in the coffin, a selfie of them in our bedroom standing at the mirror, naked, with his hands on her chest. To say I was devastated was an understatement. The person made a vow to love me forever and turned around a month later and screwed someone else in the same bed we were in. These 3 years had been a lie, and I was the stupid one all along. The woman apologised out of her ass, saying she didn't know he was married. She then begged me to delete those pictures for her. My husband was at work, so I went over to my mum's house. I was inconsolable and spilled my guts to her. She called my sister, since we're very close, and she came over right away. They consoled me and asked if I even have proof. I showed them the pictures the woman sent me, and my sister said those could be photoshopped and fakes, and maybe there was an explanation. I needed to see these on his phone myself. My mum also said if I find anything, then we can get an annulment on our marriage, since it wasn't even 6 months old yet. She had a lawyer friend that she's close with and was going to get me in contact with her just in case. So, after a hard cry, they wished me luck, told me to be smart, and I went back home and waited for my husband. My husband got home late. I was already in bed sleeping, more like a ball of confusion and now anger. He cuddled up next to me and I felt my skin crawl under the touch of this new stranger. When I knew he was asleep, I took his phone and locked myself in the bathroom. He really thought he was so smart, putting a picture of a car at the front of a photo album to make it seem innocent. When I clicked into that album and saw what I saw, she wasn't even the first one. He had pictures of 5 other women in there too, and I knew them. Some of them were his friends' wives and girlfriends. Some of them were co-workers' wives I met at a company picnic. The nature of these pictures differed, but some of them were in the act. And add to that, my husband was not the male taking the pictures. Some of these pictures were stolen, and he had a weird spank bank of nudes that were of my closest friends. Immediately, I sent this album to myself, my sister, and my mum. I then deleted all the evidence so he wouldn't be any the wiser. But I noticed a little notification at the top of his phone that I wasn't familiar with, so I clicked it. It was a group chat with his friends and some co-workers. They were all sending nudes of their wives, girlfriends, and casual hookups. The last messages being sent from my dear husband from earlier that very night. He sent 2 pictures, one being intimate with a woman and a bingo card with the word redhead X'd out. There were likes, reactions and praises from the other men, some complaining that they couldn't find one and asking what her number was. I scrolled for hours. The group chat was started in 2022. These men's partners were not aware that these were being shared. They made bets with each other on if they could get their partners to wear certain lingerie before the others, and some even taking special requests. At one point, all of them agreed to do a bingo card at the start of this year. Redhead, threesome and public were among those on the bingo cards. They had quite the Dead Poets Club going on. I even found my own nude shared and I cried. These intimate private pictures of my most vulnerable state, rated and joked about by these cavemen. The amount of screenshots I took were ungodly. Trying to take as many as I could with names of the women, in total 9 guys were sharing these photos. Some were not cheating but knew of the infidelity going on and were praising it. I had to be smart about this and think everything over. I sent everything to my sister and mum before deleting the evidence and putting the phone back. Took everything in me not to shove it where the sun don't shine, but laying there beside him for a moment I thought, maybe I could pretend I didn't see anything. Act like everything was fine. Hot tears started pouring out of my eyes, just like he pretends to love me. I took off work the next day and went to my mum's to start a plan. My sister, being the detective she is, started finding a list of women. Luckily for us, these slimy degenerates kept tallies of how many women they'd laid with and sent pictures to prove it. My mum's living room started looking like something out of a crime scene when I posted notes. I'll admit, I cried on and off all day. Connecting another red string to my husband twisted the knife in my back more and more. Out of the 9 men, 5 were cheating on the regular, totaling 38 victims between them all in a 2-year period. I was mentally so drained. I messaged my husband and told him I was spending the night at my sister's and she had found kittens earlier that week and they needed to be fed every 2 hours. So that's what we did. Ordered pizza, connected pictures with names, cried and fed kittens. My mum was my absolute rock through this and we devised a plan once finding 30 of the 38 women. I went home the next night to not look suspicious. My husband complained of how distant I'd been. I gritted my teeth and apologised. I suggested we go camping next weekend for quality time. He loved that idea and said he'd love to reconnect and spend some time together. The clock was ticking. I changed all of my password, totally closed my bank account and went to another bank. We didn't share money, but he knew my passwords and number. I even released the utilities from my name. With every step, I started feeling lighter. I spoke to my now lawyer and had the annulment rolling. I also took more screenshots and eventually was able to install the app and log into his messenger app on my iPod. No more sneaking around with his phone at night. Then it was D-Day. We were driving separately to the campsite since I had to work and he had the day off. It was a 3-hour drive to the campsite and he left at 9:30. I waited 30 minutes and had a moving crew pick up all of my things. He paid for the house, but I furnished everything. I rented a storage unit, so half was going there and the other half to my sister. I'd be moving there for the time being. It took about 5 hours to gut the house of my things. I sent my soon-to-be ex a final text saying I was on my way. He texted back he couldn't wait for a great weekend. I then immediately called the phone company and had his phone disconnected and off my plan. I then made a group chat with all the women we found and I sent a pre-written message letting them know about what I found. And to prove it, I then went onto my ex's account and added them all to the slimy group chat. I changed his password and logged out. Oh, brilliant. I'm now on my way to my sister's. She lives about 2 hours in the opposite direction. My sister's decorated the house in his bingo cards and his pathetic attempt of the online foreplay. I put the annulment papers where our wedding certificate was, but on the floor, because the table was mine. He doesn't know the shoe has even dropped yet, and I wonder how long he'll wait for me. And I wish him the worst luck trying to get home without a call for help or a GPS. I might update, but at the moment I need to focus on myself and focus on putting the pieces of my life back together. Shout out to my mum and my sister for being my rocks. I would have been spineless without them. Screw you, Tyler, you and all your friends. Oh my god. I just wish there was actual updates. This was only posted 11 hours ago, so there's not even been time for a fallout yet. The fallout is going to be incredible. He shares nudes of you. I think a personal injury lawsuit is possibly in order. Also, send this to his HR. These are co-workers of him. I'm proud of you. Now stick the knife in and twist. Really mess him up. Yeah, in several countries, it's also a crime. Exactly. Sharing people's nudes without permission is a crime in some countries. Another top comment. I am looking forward to an update. Me too. And 30 women informed. It's going to be epic. I was half thinking at one point he'd turn up to the campsite and all the other guys would be there and all 30 women would just come out from the campsite, including all their wives. That'd be like something from a movie. I'm so sorry that your scumbag husband did this to you. You deserve far better than him. Power through it and find someone who'll treat you right. Note for the future, always be wary of sending news to people. Even your partners, you never know what people can be like. If you do find the strength to post an update, please do. On that bombshell, I am going to leave it there. If there is any update to this story, I will read it and I will update you because I desperately want to see the update for this as well. But if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe because I do put out new Reddit videos every single day. and I will see you again next time.